Do like the curtain.
Hello, welcome to the Gaming Face Punch Gaming Roundup. And as always on these podcasting journeys, my stalwart Nigel is here. Hello, Nigel.
Yeah, hello, Nigel.
Got lots of news this week. I had to cut a load out, which is nice, I suppose. So, without further ado, it's time to get into our gaming news. Right. Sony had their live stream, the State of Play, this Thursday, and they showed off Horizon Forbidden West. It's a follow-up to Horizon Zero Dawn, which was a fairly good game. The protagonist sounds like their face is fixed when they talk, which is something I didn't notice until I started watching this trailer, and it's like kind of, yeah, they're quite made of clay. But we've got some exciting bits coming from it. They gave a nice kind of video, which I will share now as we're chatting away. So let me just remove that for a second. Pause that. Pop you on. Here we go. So I'll just turn the volume down so we can talk as it's doing it. Apparently, this is going to be on the PlayStation 4 and on the PlayStation 5. Didn't know that until recently. It looks pretty as hell. It really does. It's they've gone for a really bright, broad color palette, which is the first thing that grabs you. And I'm sorry, I'm not interested in you in game director.
No.
Right. The protagonist's face looks like it's got fat. She's been eating well since we last saw her.
But she's still very athletic.
Yeah, she's still very athletic. I can imagine just getting out of breath a bit easier. I know that the voice actress who does her voice, she did Life is Strange and some other things, and she did a web series called Hey Ash, What You Playing? I don't think doesn't have the emotional range, shall we say. She's too blank slate-ish, if you know what I mean. I don't know, sometimes that's a thing that they put in games. For example, Gordon Freeman, classic blank slate character. Yeah, just so you can imprint on them. But she's in the Forbidden West, and there's lots more kind of, creatures and bits around. And just an example how pretty it looks. We're watching it, and we've got what can I only describe as like a beautiful color palette, a mixture of reds and purples and greens and blues and all those kind of wonderful things in there. And it's not doing it 1080p. Sorry, I was going to hit. The dust looks fantastic. Everything looks fantastic. All these kind of things. They put some new bits in there. The bad guys have now figured out how they can control machines like Eloy can. So you've got raiders with those bits on them too. She's got more climbing abilities. Her little Bluetooth earpiece now allows her to see climb holds and stuff marked out digitally in the world. So when she does a little scan, you can see here is an example here that's being shown on screen. You've got these columns, and they've got little yellow bits marked where she can have handholds and whatnot. It looks great. There's some other bits in there too where we've got some new kind of unique weapons. I can just find the elephant. Where is the elephant? Oh, here's the elephant. Yeah, so we've got this elephant here. And she's got the bow like she had in the previous game. And she's got this new kind of, it's like a gunk bomb, I think is the best way of describing it. It's just this big yellow gooey thing. Sounds really rude.
A big sticker upper.
I think I might have passed it. Where is the gooey thing?
Possibly.
I think I might have gone past it. I'm trying to find the gooey bit. So she rides on the back, but boom. So I'm just trying to find the gooey bit, because the gooey bit, look, great. There it is. Let's just watch that again. All right. So she's got like, it's ironic. I just held on for a couple more seconds. I would have been fine. She got a catapult thing. She's got this glue grenade, I think is the best way to describe it. The textures on it look great. That genuinely looks jammed up. If you can see it
really
there,
does. It looks like it's struggling to move.
Dude, it looks really pretty. I'm hoping the game's going to be good. I'm hoping it's going to be. I'm worried about Last of Us Part 2 syndrome. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like that, but there's a chance. No, she's knocking off the bits on the back, and you can see the blast canisters at the back there on its arse. So, giant, crazy looking mammoth. This looks good. This does look good. This is something to be excited for. We've got finally a game that we can look forward to playing. Because it's like at the moment games are a little on the sparse side. I'm worried though that it's going to be 70 quid when it comes out, like Returnal. Because if it is, I ain't buying it. I'm sorry, £60, not 70. You can do one.
Yeah, principles, mate. Out of principle.
Especially when there's so many sales on my Xbox, digital console. I can pick up games for like £3. And they're quite good ones too. So it's
So this trailer that they showed, a lot of people were saying it's potentially a scripted gameplay. So rather than somebody actually controlling it, that they've scripted that entire sequence through.
That's not scripted. That don't look scripted.
I'm not so sure if that's true because I've obviously played the first one. You have, and the gameplay is pretty much like that.
Yeah. I wouldn't say really rehearsed. I think might be a better way of describing it.
Rehearsed, yeah.
Doing it so they could get the best shots and the best visuals. That guy probably played that level through probably about 10, 20 times in order to get the gameplay that they wanted.
Especially the bit where he's climbed up. He's being chased by the mammoth thing. He's climbed up, jumped off, and he's pulled out his I don't know what you'd call it, like umbrella thing, like in Fortnite. And he's floating down, and he's turned the camera perfectly round to see the mammoth smashing through the building, the old building. So he's done that a few times to get that shot.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a scripted thing, though.
I don't think it's scripted. As I said, we've played it, and it's been like that before. The enemies may have some scripted functions in there, like you get, so like in Gears of War, you fight the berserker and it smashes through walls and stuff. It's not necessarily scripted, but it's part of the battle that you play actually in game. So I think this is good. This is good. I'm excited. I've got something to be excited for in the next generation. I'm just not going to be excited when they turn around and say £70.
No, I mean if they do, I'm just going to wait.
Yeah, same. That's what I'm doing with Returnal. I'm waiting for that to go down to normal price, shall we say?
A reasonable price. I mean, I remember when they used to be about 30 quid. But wow, yeah, it slowly crept up and up, and then it turned to about 40, 45 quid. 45 quid seemed to be about the norm. And then it's gone past 50 now. 50 and now 60, 70.
60. I think 60 was. I think 60 for a brand new game is fine in my book, but that is the limit. Any more than that, and I'm like, I'm out. And that's what they've done recently. But let's move on to our next story. Right, Nintendo Switch Pro reveal expected before E3 and will launch this autumn. Nintendo's long-awaited Switch upgrade expected to be shown ahead of E3 2021, according to reports published by Bloomberg (brackets paywall). Today, Eurogamer's own source and Eurogamer's own sources. This one's been rattling around for a couple of weeks. I think it's sounding more true the more I hear it. I think the Switch probably needs, because it's built on mobile tech. Mobile tech evolves a lot faster than computer tech, because everyone gets an upgrade every 2 years, and everyone's always trying to be the best photo phone, the best So the best camera phone, the best streaming phone, the best gaming phone, the fastest phone, the one with the best screen and the highest refresh rate. And I think because of that, Nintendo have got a lot of mobile technology to pick through in order to get this. So I reckon that you'll probably find that it's kind of might even be ARM based rather than what you call it, like Intel or AMD or anything like that. The standard computer chips that you get for central processing units. This will be more phone-like, if you know what I mean. Phone-like, bigger screen. I imagine it's going to be a 1080p screen minimum. Can't be the 720p screen it's got at the moment because that wouldn't be considered an upgrade. 4K is what we would like. Don't know if we get 4K because they could even do it with checkerboarding, get clever, like some things that the Sony guys have done. Seeing it before E3 makes sense. They'll have their Nintendo Treehouse, so that'll be the point that it gets released. So we're looking early June. Crikey, it is early June. It will be early June when this goes out as a podcast. That'll then help come out. So people who love the Switch and stuff, they'll be able to do that. We'll hopefully have a bit more horsepower. Think of the same horsepower as maybe, if you're lucky, the Xbox X series, but probably the PlayStation 4. I reckon its horsepower will be the equivalent of.
I remember when they first announced the Switch, the current Switch, and we all thought, "Oh, they're going to bring something out to rival the PS4 and the Xbox One," but they didn't. The horsepower on it isn't that great, to be honest, but it plays the games that it needs to play very well.
Yes, and
much like the Wii.
And the Nintendo people know the limitations on their hardware, and they can build to those limitations on the hardware. And the great thing about that is the software is, how can I put it, is pretty much settled at that point in time. Everyone's got a good understanding of that software, so they can rinse it for every bit of power they can. They can also stylize their graphics to make them a bit more appealing to people. It's good. It's good. I think it's going to be. It's going to be. Sorry, nice. It's going to be the equivalent of the Mac versus the iPad Pro, and I'm talking about the old Macs with the Intel chips versus the iPad Pros with their M2 architecture.
And the what I was thinking also, the first party IPs that they've got to play on their console, they're well established, aren't they, with Donkey Kong, Mario, the kart, all that sort of stuff, Luigi's Mansion, all of those sort of games. I wouldn't consider them, CPU hogs or anything like that, but it really depends on the direction. If they're going to keep going more family friendly, but increasing the speed, putting a nice SSD in there so it loads as quick as, say, the PlayStation and Xbox latest.
It won't necessarily be an SSD. It'll be the phone memory that you get in your phone, which is pretty fast as it is. It's pretty much what they've got in the Xbox S and X series.
It's pretty quick, the phone. And if they do sort of go that route, you can consider it an up. I mean, as a PS5 owner, going from a PS4 Pro to a PS5 and playing the same game, I consider it an upgrade, being able to instantly load my games as quickly as they do and get straight in. For me, it's a massive upgrade on hardware.
So, I've got my S series here. I've been playing loads recently. I think I played Apex Legends on the PS5 for a good while. And Control on the PS5, and then I moved back to my Xbox S series because our friend Carl likes playing State of Decay. So I pop on there every so often and play State of Decay, but I play the older games from last generation, which I've picked up for next to nothing, which is fantastic value. But the load on it is noticeable, because when I had my VCR Xbox One, OG Xbox One, that was noticeable. And then when you get that kind of bump up and you can see it, the problem is that some game manufacturers have been good enough to put bits over the top of the loading screens to make it a bit more palatable while you're waiting. So you get the logos pop up. You open the turn the game on and the logo pops up. It takes ages. You go, why does it take ages? It's covering up a loading screen, basically.
Yeah.
And it's like
it's
whenever
like the
you
Superman.
get...
Spider-Man, sorry.
Yeah.
When you're doing the quick travel between one place and another place, you take your tube and he's sitting there on his phone going, do. It's a nice little thing to cover up a loading screen.
Yeah.
Now he goes on the tube to go somewhere else. You don't even get it. He's literally just running up the stairs.
Yeah.
So it's a noticeable upgrade.
It's good.
It would be nice. Yeah, it'd be nice if the Switch Pro or whatever they're going to call it, the Switch Next or whatever, I don't know, is a noticeable upgrade and allows people to use their current Switch games on their new Pro or whatever they call it. Because that's the thing people want now.
I will throw the following out. I reckon that you will only be able to use certain brands of SD cards or micro SD cards in there because they have to be at a certain speed. So I reckon that's going to be a thing. So if they're going to be, my money says that they're going to sell you custom ones. I think they're going to try and do this cheeky because it will
a bit like Microsoft.
This is how the Nintendo stuff works. It usually is like kind of bang bust, bang bust, bang bust, bang bust. Yeah. So the next console after the Switch is going to be an abject fucking failure. It's just right down the tubes. Yeah, nothing's going to happen with that because that's the way these things happen. Anyway, let's move on to our next story. Valve's co-founder did recently suggest that Steam games are coming to console in some form. Could this be through a portable handheld device from the company itself? The company has secretly been building a Nintendo Switch-like gaming PC, according to Ars Technica, citing unnamed sources. I always hate that. Unnamed sources. The other one, right? The other one we got, Bloomberg as an unnamed source, and their own sources. You know, okay. Plan to launch the product at the end of the year, assuming Valve can secure enough manufacturing capacity. Chip shortage worldwide. Chance probably not going to happen this year. I have seen, there's a channel I follow, I can't remember his name now. He does a lot of these kind of small micro PC things that you get, for emulation and stuff. And he's come across a few of these handheld PC jobbies. And they've been pretty good, actually, recently. Again, there's rumors that Microsoft are doing something. This is come back to the ARM chips, that Microsoft are going to be releasing Windows bits, ARMs, and Snapdragon chips, which means that they'll be able to move into this kind of realm. I think the push for this is more come from a reaction from Apple's usage of these M2 processors that they use, and they want to now be a bit more fluid in what they do, because I don't think with the new Macs, which are the M2 ones, which are ultra thin, they're not going to have that Windows compatibility that you get from the older Macs. Interesting. I've got quite a lot of Steam games. I'd like to be able to play them. I'd like to be able to play them more than 12 frames a second, though. That's the first problem.
Well, I seem to remember not too long ago, there was such a thing as a Steam machine.
Oh, yes, I remember the Steam machine. They had their own little owl-like controller. Yes, and it died a horrible, painful, slow, unsupported death.
Well,
and
the problem they had, they allowed multiple companies to make their own versions of the Steam machine.
Yeah.
And so you had 5, 6, 7 different companies all making their own exterior, and the interior was also different specs, all to run simply on the Steam OS and log in and play your game straight off it, a bit like a console. But all of them looked a bit like a desktop, and they cost more than the PS5 does now.
Yeah,
so
that's where you've got things. Have you heard of a thing called the Intel Nook Canyon and then Intel Hades Canyon?
No.
These are tiny, ultra powerful PCs. They're about that big.
Okay.
I can't remember the game now. ETA Prime, that was his name. ETA Prime. He's the YouTuber that I watch for that one, and he reviews these Nooks and stuff. It's possible. It really is possible. I think that there's going to be a shift in the chip market. I think with the chip shortage that we've got at the moment, I think we're going to see a shift in the chip market. It's a similar thing with the RAM. If you remember, we had back in the 90s, this is how old I am, back in the 90s, there was an incident where I think a hurricane or a typhoon or something destroyed the only factory in the world that made RAM. Yeah. And then from there, everyone went, why don't we make RAM? And I went, that's a good bloody point. And then everyone started making RAM, and the RAM got faster. And then it'd be like this whirlwind RAM and tornado RAM and typhoon RAM. And it's like, that's a bit tasteless, guys.
Hurricane RAM.
It was. Do you remember? Because you'd get the back of like PC Magazine, you flip on the thing and it would say, we're selling super ultra fast super RAM, yeah, on it. And yeah, I think it's going to happen again with the chip shortage. If India's smart, India should be picking up the slack on the old chip shortage. They should be looking into making their own chips and doing stuff like that. It's exciting times. I think there's big changes in technology coming soon. My gut tells me there's a change, and I need to be ready for it. I know there's a change because they're starting to move bloody programming languages where VBA, which I'm quite fluent in, is going to become redundant. And I'm like, oh, I've got to teach myself a new language. I hate that shit.
I hate learning languages. I'm not very good at it.
Yeah, true. But I think, there's a chance that it'll be okay. But here's the funny thing is, yeah, if it's more powerful than the Switch, it may become the platform for the next Switch. Do you know what I mean? If they've done their work right, if they release this thing and it's $1,000, yeah, or 900 quid, yeah, and they release it and they go, there it is, and we go, oh great, and it's really good but massively expensive, and you can dock it in a similar fashion to the Switch. Nintendo will look at that and go, one, you ripped us off. Two, what can we learn from this to go further forward? So yeah, it's exciting times. Sorry, Nigel, I'm passionate about chips, microchips, not oven chips.
Mine usually come with fish.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I'm keen to hear a little bit more. I don't know if they'll go down. Maybe they realised last time they went the wrong route and they left it open to everybody and their dog to make their own Steam machine. On this occasion, they might go, right, do you know what we did wrong? We did that wrong. We've got to go with one person and make it with one spec so people can make games to run specifically well.
I think having multiple manufacturers is fine, but they have to lock it down to a single spec.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was. And the other thing too with the Steam machines is that you had different OS versions. You had the Steam OS version, which was Linux, and then you had the Windows OS version.
Yeah.
The Windows OS version was much more expensive. But saying that, Windows have kind of, how can I put it? They're charging less and less for their operating systems. If you're smart, you can go and get a Windows OS operating system for like tenner. Just shop around because they want everyone on it, and they don't want the barrier of entry. Yeah.
It does sound like this one. Well, the article anyway says about it being used using Linux instead of Windows because of the license thing that people would have, Linux being open source. So the thing is, I don't care what it's running on as long as it can run whatever you've got in your library. And if you've got a Linux machine, you can't run everything in your library. Yeah, because a lot of them aren't made for Linux. So a lot of them can be, but not all of them.
I know.
That's something that they'd have to figure out.
Yeah. Right. All right, let's move on to our next one. Right. Games with Gold. It's the beginning of the month. So we're getting our Games with Gold and we are getting our PlayStation Plus things. So Microsoft have announced its Games with Gold title. I don't know what's going on with Microsoft Live Gold because I'm sure they were planning on making the multiplayer thing free. So maybe now you just subscribe and get the stuff. You think that they kind of discontinue it. But on Xbox One and Series X and S, The King's Birds is available for download from the 1st of June and to the 30th of June. I have no idea what King's Bird is. I'm assuming it's not the king's bit on the side that he's seeing.
His side chick.
His side bird, yes.
The king's side chick. I don't think it's that. No.
Also,
I watched a bit of a video on that.
I've got a video here. I put one in the notes because
take a watch of that, because it's more like, what was that Need Hug or Nide Hug game? It was a bit like that. Oh, was Gareth dirt faced? Gareth might be dirt faced. Oh well. So while Gareth is derping, let's talk about the games. So I'm sure he'll come back in a moment.
I've read so many.
Is he there? Is he? Oh.
Nigel, are you there?
I don't know if it's me or it's Gareth.
I think it was me. Because I noticed at the moment I went to go put the YouTube video into the feed, it went. I'm going to try again. No,
I didn't know if it was me and to carry on, or if it was you and you needed to carry on. I couldn't tell.
Right. Okay. So these things happen. Just get on with it. So we've got some ones in here that look quite interesting. So King's Bird, Shadows Awakening, Injustice, Gods Among Us, and another one which I missed. It should be on the Gold Pass. So King's Bird. We're watching the video here because I'm trying to keep track of it.
Yeah, it's a bit Need Huggy. Do you remember the Need Hug where they go through the No, maybe I'm thinking of a different one.
Nihog. I know what you're thinking of. Yeah, but that looks so much more better made than Nihog as a game. Shadows King Awakening. This looks very Diablo-esque.
Yeah, out of a lot of them, I think this one's probably the one that piques my interest because it's Diablo-esque. So I would recommend anyone who's watching the stream to go just jump on YouTube and have a look at this after the stream, obviously, not during.
Yeah, not during the stream. We've got Geo Battle Coliseum, which looks like all the Geo fighting characters from King of Fighters, and I like. And then we've got Injustice Gods Among Us, which I played with Keith, which we have a video for, where he just yelled Wonder Woman while beating me up, and then I kick his ass. The only one I didn't beat him with was the Green Lantern, which I was so annoyed because if I'd beaten with the Green Lantern, I could have made so many jokes.
Because he is the worst character.
Yes, of course.
Oh, I mean, we had this for free 5-6 years ago. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
On the PlayStation. I'm not interested. I added it to my library. I played it once and went, no, don't like it, and I deleted it. So for me, fighting games not a thing. You might like it if you like a fighting game. You might like it, but they've put 2 in this month, so I'm not going to get either.
Yeah, it's one of those things. So hopefully,
they're free. You can't complain.
My thing is it gives you something to do if you got mate come around and like, what do I play? And you can just pick through the bloody game library. And because they're the previous generation games, you can download them relatively quick in comparison to stuff that you get now. So yeah. All right, let's move on. Right, Sony's turn now. So Sony's got their PlayStation Plus games for June, which is Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. Another fighting game for you, Nige.
They're talking, aren't they?
We know that you love fighting games.
Sony and Xbox are having a chat before they release the games, aren't they?
I think that they probably are having a chat. But I think it may be a case of, what are you releasing? We're releasing Injustice Amongst Gods. Dave, we released that fucking years ago, mate. All right, what one can we get, which is a new fighting game, which makes us look better? On Virtua Fighter. Get Virtua Fighter, put that on there. So you got Virtua Fighter Showdown for PlayStation Plus. What else we got on here? We've got Operation Tango. God, I want some orange lemonade.
You've been tangoed, mate. That was
I remember that. You've been tangoed. the fights and stuff that happened in the park.
Oh,
Espionage themed cooperative adventure. Ah, yes, this one looked really interesting. Actually, this is one that me and you need to stream.
okay.
Because one of you gets to be the man in the chair, and the other one gets to be the spy. But because the way it's set out, the guy in the chair does not get to see everything that the spy is doing. So then they have to work their way through it, and vice versa. So the person in the chair would be hacking the computer, the other one's like shooting bad guys while the thing's being decrypted and all that stuff. It sounds like hilarious fun for us to cock up royally. That's made me excited because I want to play it with you now. That's put a good grin on my face. Operation Tango. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what? Yeah. Okay. That's genuinely got me intrigued.
I think so. I'm worried about my bloody thing. I've just hit the volume on that. I wonder if you can. Is this Operation Tango? Please tell me this.
It's doing an ad.
No, this is. Oh, skip. Right. So Operation Tango. Yeah. So you've got the agent, and then you got the hacker. Yeah. On PS4 and PS5. So this is what the agent sees. Yeah. So the agent was wandering around, and then the hacker's got all the other stuff to deal with. So you have to do like a team up. I think we can have some fun with this, Nigel. I really do. This is something we need to try. Yes.
Hit the switch.
Even if it's for a couple of hours on launch, me and you need to try this and just be yelling obscenities at each other who are fucking things up. It's like Don't Talk, the bomb one. Do you remember the bomb one that we had?
Oh, yeah.
The bomb one. So we got that one there.
The Don't Talk bomb one is a VR thing where nobody else can see what you see on the screen. It's on the TV, for example. It's something completely different. And the only person who can see the bomb is the person with the VR goggles. So
Gavin struggled with that one.
We really struggled with the instructions on what he could see and following through with the instructions of what we give him.
I felt really bad because it was like kind of no. You were the first. So you're going to be the crappiest for the first person who goes up and does it. And the other one is Rogue Squadron. We have to do that. That's a playthrough for this. Which is we and you are going to have to play through that. And the other one is Rogue Squadron for VR.
I think it's both. I think you got the normal game and VR.
Yeah, no. I think they're putting it in there as there's 2 games and there's a VR game for the VR people, if you know what I mean. So you still get to play a normal thing, but it's so the VR people who own the headsets have got.
I will definitely get the Squadrons run because you've got it. I don't know if it's multiplayer, is it?
There's multiplayer on it. It's not co-op, unfortunately. Some of the physics in it are a bit janky as fuck. I banged into a Star Destroyer and parked myself in front of the Star Destroyer for a good 10 seconds, and it didn't shoot me down. To which I'm like, I should be screaming, going, ah! My cockpit should be bursting into flames.
You're just being one of those cocky kids, aren't you?
Yeah, one of those cocky kids. But
yeah, I'll get that one. We'll have a little go. I'll see what the fuss is all about. I know it's a fairly not a fairly good game, but a fairly recent game that came out not long ago.
It's a fairly recent game. I'm a little annoyed because it's not on quality as the VR one that you got from Battlefield, Star Wars Battlefield, the first one, which was fantastic.
That was great. Now, here's the thing. Just play a real space game.
No. If I go there, I will never come back.
I will never leave my cupboard.
No, right? Babs doesn't understand it. You lean swords and sorcery. I lean starships and space.
Yeah. There's a.
Yes, you will lose me. Really, genuinely lose me if I.
I know exactly what you mean because I get lost in Dark Age Camelot. I can just play that for hours and then go, do you know what? Maybe I should eat something today. Whereas I think you get the same with any sort of space combat-y type game. Say No Man's Sky or Elite Dangerous if you played that.
I haven't got the Normandy on No Man's Sky. I don't know if I got a chance to get it towards the end of the day. I've done the first phase.
It's by tomorrow. I think it's here till. I haven't even bothered started because
I've practically completed the game. Seriously, I have to jump through another couple of universes. Sorry, galaxies. Because I'm like 8 galaxies away from you. Because I've got a specialized ship that can travel immense distances. It looks like a squid. It's cool as shit.
You see, Babster's raised a very good point, because I don't know what the game is. What's Elite Dangerous? Actually, I think
have
that's
no idea what Elite Dangerous is. What is this Elite Dangerous? I've never heard of this Elite Dangerous. It sounds like a World War II combat commando sim, doesn't it, Nige?
Yeah, I think I've got the two muddled. Can you tell I don't know space games?
Anyway,
no, was it Elite Dangerous, or was it Hidden and
Dangerous is the World War II one. I thought it would be a play on words.
Yeah, right. No, I got completely too muddled up there. And one, for some reason, Hidden and Dangerous popped to my head and merged, and I hadn't played Hidden and Dangerous in 10 years.
Oh, I love Hidden. The second Hidden and Dangerous, the first 2 levels, I love the hell out of those first 2 levels in the snow, where your plane crashes and you've got to stop them developing the jet engine for the bloody Messerschmitt, or just slow them down at least. That, I really enjoyed the hell out. I played that. I went back and replayed that level, because it goes Wolfenstein when you go inside the thing. Oh, man, that was a good game. Anyway, let's move on. Right, Sony is exploring the mobile markets with some wonderful franchise, Uncharted Territories. Sony has confirmed its big PlayStation push into mobile gaming, saying, "Please stay tuned," which sounds like Konami and pachinko machines to me. In April, a job was advertised for head of mobile at Sony Studios, SIE. Revealed plans for a successful candidate to focus on adapting PlayStation's most popular franchises for mobile. I'm worried because it's going to be chock full of microtransaction shite. I don't want it. Please don't make it happen. But if they make genuinely good games, so if a mobile game comes out and it's a $5 and it's a great game and it's just a $5, then I will support them. But it's not going to be that. You know they're looking at all that money from Candy Crush, going, "Oh yes, we's having some of that, man." Yeah. That's a terrible German impression.
That was a terrible German accent there, Gav.
Yes, terrible one. But it's upsetting. It is real upsetting.
I don't know. I not long ago got XCOM 2 on my mobile, and it plays how you would expect it to play. They've just adapted it for mobile, and as far as I can see, there's not that many transactions on there. If they sort of do what you, sorry,
carry on. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to intersect so I can put my point across.
So what I'm thinking, if they simply take, let's say, Uncharted game, pop it onto mobile, and you pay mobile game rate $5 or whatever for it, and then that's it, and you can play it until you want to finish playing it, no microtransactions or anything like that, then I don't mind. I think that's really a good idea for Sony to diversify like that, because they're not diversifying onto, say, a rival platform like Xbox or Switch.
Yeah.
But it's mobile, and most people will have a mobile. Not everyone games.
Yeah, not everyone games.
But, yeah. Why not?
We can hope. I bought Rome Total War on my iPad. The most dangerous. Talk about Elite Dangerous. Talk about getting lost in Elite Dangerous. Yeah, Rome Total War made me late for work on more than one occasion, shall we say. I love that's one game I love. I'm always a little worried about these games that I can get a bit obsessed over. I got obsessed over No Man's Sky. You probably never noticed. That's why I'm 8 galaxies ahead of you, and I've got a small star fleet because I just got obsessed with the bloody game. And that's why I had trouble going back to it, because it's one of those ones. If I go back to it, I'm just going to wind up getting caught in it, and it's that. Oh, just one more thing. Oh, it's 2:00 in the morning. I need to go to sleep. So yeah, it's. I'm hearing the sound of microtransactions. I'm seeing dollar signs in in Sony's eyes. They're not thinking of this as creating art to move you. They're creating this as things to empty your wallet. And I don't like it. I really don't like it. And it's worrying because if you look at Konami and the pachinko machines, they went down a similar route. And I'm seeing that. And that's the reason that Kojima left. They don't have any decent PES games anymore. There's no Castlevania, none of that stuff. Konami were like king of games for a good period during the 90s and early 2000s, and then it just kind of went to shit. Oh, and on that really upwards note, let's move on to our next story. I love irony. Let's play the Xbox stinger. Just one more Sony thing to end the podcast off with. Sony confirms that PlayStation 5 will sell PlayStation 5 directly to consumers in Europe. The company reveals a European launch plans for its PlayStation Direct online stores. Why have you not done this earlier? Why was this not before? Why was this not when PlayStation launched itself?
During the pandemic,
money to be made.
When the stores weren't open, that was the perfect time to them to go, do you know what we should do? Because people can't go into the store, buy the things, let's sell them direct. Pre-orders open now. And then they could
have sold the games, the accessories, the controllers, even the old bloody consoles they could have sold on too. I do find it incredibly maddening because I know I can buy controllers directly off my Xbox. But I can't buy Xbox. I might buy an Xbox off my Xbox, which is a good thing. And you think they'd want to do the same? And it's like, can you go into PlayStation Store? They should have a PlayStation Store physical, and PlayStation Store electronic or digital, or whatever. And the physical one is, I want a physical copy. Say this would be the great thing to do. Yeah, I want a physical copy of Spider-Man Miles Morales. Yeah, they go, okay, we will send you Spider-Man Miles Morales in the next 3 days. But while you're waiting for the next 3 days, here's the digital copy, which will expire when your new version arrives. The game save swap over is compatible. That would be fantastic. Yeah. That would be. And considering they're charging 70 bloody quid for a PlayStation 5 game, they could do that quite easily. And it is nice having PlayStation games. As I said, my PlayStation's my physical media thing. I'm regretting it now because of the price on things. Is my physical media one, and my Xbox is my digital one. And it was an experiment to see if I'd get on with digital. And plus, I didn't have a 4K TV in my room, and it wasn't bloody worth paying for a 4K console. And these things are it is a fantastic bit of kit. So, Nige. What do you think about that?
I'm astonished that it's taken them this long to figure it out, considering all the scalping that's going on and the end users saying that they haven't been able to get their hands on them from retailers, but they can through these scalpers, which are doubling the price.
Yeah.
Now I'm surprised that they've taken this long to even be able to do it. I really am.
It's one of those things, right?
I'm trying to figure out if Microsoft allow you to buy a console through their website, but I'm not. They do
through the website. They do through the website unless you want to use that Klarna agreement that we're using, where you pay £20 a month. If you do that, you have to do it through Smith or Games. But I think there are others they sell themselves. I'm sure they do. We'll find out. I'll have a look later and probably correct myself. But before we go, people have been watching and people have been making comments, and I've been in a good flow, so I've not really stopped to look at these comments and bits. So first things first, hello, Bilfer. Your weird crocodile avatar is getting a little freaky. Hello, Chuck. Yes, Keith of Thailand is out and about. Yeah, he'll be back with us for the Monkey Nut Punch podcast in audio form only. Sorry.
He's just arrived in the podcast.
He has just arrived. We'll get to him. We'll go through this chronological order so I know where we can finish this off. Chuck said, if I was into games, I would bet my 380 would manage it great. Yes, I think it would. He says, I like to Bilfer. Right, so that's what we got.
Yeah, certainly would.
You guys deserve a much bigger audience. We haven't got a much bigger audience. It's called Keith. We got Babster who said hello, and he likes playing some game called Elite Dangerous about World War II commandos.
I don't know. I don't know. We mentioned that. I'm sure I did.
Go Nige. Go Nige.
Because you derped and I didn't know if it was me or you, and then they came up and went, "Oh, so it is me." So I'll carry on the story, and then you came back.
Yeah, sorry. 56k. No, it's not 56k modem. I think my son is doing video calls on WhatsApp at the moment, and I need to bump him down the priority list, shall we say? And then we've got they're nice shorts. What did we miss? What was that about?
The bumps.
Oh, the bumps. He likes the bumps. Awesome. Yes. No, I thought about making loads, and then I thought people probably more enjoyed the gaming bits more.
Did you think he meant he saw
I'm not
your
wearing shorts?
Your shorts
I've
that you're
got
wearing?
jeans on. Real space game, and then he keeps referring back to this World War II Commando game. I don't know what's wrong with him. Shameless plug. Check out Commander Babster on YouTube for all your Elite Dangerous YouTube videos. And remember, Elite Dangerous is a World War II Commando game. Is that new presenter a Monkey Nut Punch? No, unfortunately, it's not. It's the spinning circle of doom. He laughed there. Boo. Gotta go. Gotta catch. That's fine. You catch us later. So that's all right. And when we talk about bigger audience, we should have a bigger audience. Here's our bigger audience. It's Keith. He's gonna fucking love me when he comes on later. Someone's happy about the fact that Sony are now selling to people directly.
In Europe only.
Screw Sony. Or was it Screw Oni? And then
I think that's a screws only.
Screws only. Right. Lol foo. Right. Thank you very much for watching. If you are still watching, give us a like. For crying out loud. You've managed to come this far. You deserve to give us a like. All right. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Thank you very much. Tell all your friends, all your families, strangers who deliver stuff to your house, people you come up with in stores. Yeah, just tell them you should be listening to the Monkey Nut Punch podcast. Because what the fuck are you? And on that note,
I don't know you.
Nige, I think it's time you said goodbye.
Yeah. Goodbye. We'll see you in the next one. Don't forget, if you're watching this on the Monkey Nut Punch channel, we've got a gaming face punch channel as well.
Same with the Facebook page. We have a gaming face punch page. We've been around for ages. So I'd just like to say goodbye. And you can catch our podcast. Catch our podcast on Spotify and all that lot. So bye for now.
I'll see you next one.